Greetings to you from the mighty Vishnu, and welcome back to Let's Play Revelations Persona. And it seems that Miss Smith is a bit upset because she told us to go to the hospital. Anyway, in the last episode, which was recorded all the way back in January, we decided to partake in a classroom seance known as the Persona game, in which a series of strange phenomena occurred, such as the appearance of a little girl in a white dress, followed swiftly by Mark, Nate, Yukino and myself being struck by green bolts of lightning while inside a building, which resulted us being brought here to the infirmary, and which is why Miss Smith has instructed us to go to Lunarvale Hospital, well, to see if anything's wrong with us, and also to check on our classmate Mary, who has also been in the hospital for about a year for medical conditions. And I believe that covers it. Also, there's nothing really we need to do here in the school infirmary for the time being, so let us leave. And interestingly enough, whenever you move from, well, out of a room, the word dungeon appears in the upper left corner there. Kind of strange if you ask me. And of course, I'm sure you haven't failed to notice the moon indicator at the top right of the screen. Currently it's new moon. That indicates the passage of time, as you will soon see once we leave the room, but other than that, it doesn't really have any other function. And there is the jaunty music of school life in St. Hermalin High. You will never ever hear this theme, or most of the music in Revelations Persona, in the PSP version, because they remixed a lot of stuff and they created a lot of new stuff as well, which kind of interesting, but I prefer the classic PlayStation Persona music, and I'm sure you will too. Now we could head out and visit Mary at the hospital right away. Also, the infirmary is located here at Class 1C, or Room 1C I should say, not Class 1C. And we have a compass which shows us our map. And that is the sound of a school bell going off, whether it's lunchtime or after school, we currently don't know. But given our situation, I'm sure we'll be let off for health reasons or something like that. And we move around. This is in a this corridor here is pretty much a first-person kind of dungeon crawling. If you're used to first-person dungeon crawlers such as Eye of the Beholder and Lands of Lore. Though this is infinitely more sophisticated, especially by the standards. I believe that this is room 1-5. We could enter here, or not. The door is locked and you can't get in. Unfortunate. Let's head over to room 1-6. And there's the sound of that bell again. Looks like we can enter this classroom. This first episode is pretty much going to be me wandering around the corridors and rooms of St. Hermalin High, talking to as many students as I can, because I want to get a sense of world building here in Revelations Persona. Gambling is my dream. I love gambling. Slots, blackjack, poker. I don't think the faculty would encourage gambling. I wish I was old enough to do some real gambling. Fun fact, in Revelations Persona, you can't you can actually gamble, which is kind of surprising. And that student got busted for playing poker during class. Not a sensible time to be doing that. And Yukino's not fond of gamblers or gambling in general. Yeah, it can, if you let it, it will take control of your life. True story. And Nate actually remembers playing a certain game called Codebreaker, which I believe we can actually play, once we actually get out into Lunarvale, that is. We can't play it inside Mikage-cho, or, St. Hermalin High, because Mikage-cho is Lunarvale. And, this classroom appears to, not have any kind of, number at all. That's curious. The door is locked. Was that girl an illusion? So this was the classroom that we were in the previous episode. The classroom where we were struck by lightning after uttering the chant, "Persona, persona, please come to us." And this way doesn't really lead to anywhere that we want to go to just yet, so we will head this way. Also, that moon indicator is now at 1-8. There are 8 phases of the moon, which the moon phases actually go rather quickly. Normally, they go through in, well, this isn't real time, this is Revelations Persona. So every few movements, that moon phase will actually change. You've probably been watching it every time I've been walking around. I'm going to go this way, to room 1B. I love that most of the classes here actually have nameplates to them. And this appears to be the principal's office, judging by the decor. Looks like Dr. Cotter is in the courtyard again. Well, we'll be visiting the courtyard much later. And apparently Dr. Cotter is quite the florist. There are a few flowers here, but nothing worth looking at, and a bunch of photos, courtesy of the principal on the wall there. I don't think Nate would count as nothing. I will be doing a lot of exploring, Nate. Just you wait. I do love this music, I really do. It's a shame it wasn't in the PSP version, because it's actually quite nice to listen to. The faculty... I believe the faculty room is here in room 1A. And I was right, this is the staff room, otherwise known as the faculty room. And we can talk to this teacher. Complaints of someone running in and out of the sealed classroom on the 2nd floor. No, we've only been going into the sealed classroom on the 1st floor, the one that's currently unmarked. And of course Ellen and Alana didn't get struck by lightning, so they don't have to get checked out. I wondered that myself. Now she says that the ones that have passed out have played Persona before, but that's not actually quite true. I believe in the PSP version she actually says that the ones who didn't pass out, aka get struck by lightning, were the ones who played Persona beforehand. That is, Brad, Alana, and Ellen. Because, of course, I, Yukino, Mark, and Nate were the ones who got struck by lightning. So it seems like Brad, Alana, and Ellen have played Persona before, which is, well, then again, judging by Ellen's words, that this time we're seeing images. Last time they heard sounds. So this would be the second time that Ellen, Alana and Brad would have played the Persona game, it seems. And she explained, she was the one who explained the situation to Miss Smith, and Brad just went home. Of course he did. I'm very responsible of you there, Alana. And, I'll be checking into the mystery of the second floor classroom in due time, but we still have more exploring to do. And yes, we can walk backwards. We can basically moonwalk. And there is a fire plug where you would probably attach a fire hose. Safety regulations, after all. Now we have class 1-1. You can't tell there because it's obscured by the map, but you can see it there. And we can't go in anyway because that door is locked. Interesting that this class, there would actually be different designations for rooms. You got numbers and then numbers and letters. Just never had that. And we can talk to this person over here. Sebek is cursed. Whatever, that's just a stupid rumor. Biological weapons. Well, Sebek is actually an anagram, by the way. It actually stands for the Saiki Electronics and Biological and Energy Corporation, hence Sebek. So, the rumors about biological weapons may not entirely be far-fetched. Then again, it's just another company. Yeah, that's exactly what they said about the Umbrella Corporation in the original Biohazard in July of 1998. Boy, were people surprised. But Nate seems to, well, he seems to think that that's a plausibility. The person he's talking about, Guido, is actually the branch president out here in Lunarvale. Almost said Mikage-cho there, but this is Revelations Persona, so we have to go with localization. Guido Sardinia. He is known in Megami Ibanroku Persona as Takehisa Kandori. And of course, I've heard other people saying in later Persona games the name Guido. This is where it all started. Oh, just you wait, Yukino. There's going to be more gossiping before this episode is done. Trust me. A lot more gossiping. Because we have more rooms to explore. Such as this one in room 1-3. And, these classrooms are actually quite, ornate. There are a lot of rumors going around about Sebek in Lunarvale. None of them particularly good for the company's reputation. Eerie sounds, red eyes glaring through the windows. Their building is haunted because they constructed it over, they demolished the haunted house and built their corporate, branch location out here. Of course, because why not? Why wouldn't there be a haunted house here in Lunarvale? Apparently Mark used to go there all the time. And his mother never liked the haunted house. So it was a year ago that Sebek came to Lunarvale. And Nate's just standing over here, not even paying attention to the conversation. No, all the rumors about Sebek aren't very pleasant to hear. And of course we've got to go to the hospital. We'll be going at our own time, at our own pace. Next up is room 1-4. This really is nice catchy music. Another school day. And apparently we have a classmate named Chris, apparently. And the student appears to be infatuated with him. But Chris seems to be kind of the lone wolf. Yeah, I'll totally buy that story. And Yukino despises gossip as much as he despises gamblers and gambling. Yeah, Yukino is very temperamental when it comes to certain matters. We could go down there, but we're actually, you know what? We're at the stairs. We could get up this way and go this way to room 24 on the second floor. And it's a girl named TJ. TJ is a close friend of Mary's. She works part-time to help her family out. TJ is known in Megami Ibanroku persona as Yuko Himeno. And apparently she borrowed a book from Mary. Sure, we'll pass on that message, because why not? Yeah, TJ, almost said Yukino there. TJ, has a very timid personality, and it doesn't seem like she has a lot of confidence in herself. Gate to Paradise, that's a very profound title there for a book. Yeah, certain books can be quite expensive. And as we saw from her character description, TJ is working part-time to support her family, so... Nate can be insensitive on account of his being a child millionaire, or a student millionaire I should say, but in this instance he actually did have a honest inquiry there, Yukino. I will see Mary soon, and we'll make sure she gets her book back. Now on to the next classroom. Class 2-3. Well, not, because this door is locked. On to room 2-2. Over here. See what you have to say. A weird dream that's bugging you. Sure, we'll hear it. A blue room, someone singing along to a piano, and a wicked-looking old man sitting on a chair. I couldn't really say one way or the other whether that dream has a meaning. Nate doesn't think that dreams have any meaning to them whatsoever, however, because they are just, well, dreams. But apparently Mark had a dream about a blue room before. Curious. And of course, Yukino is reminding us that Mary is whiling away and wasting away in the hospital. Sure, at this rate, visiting hours might come to an end, but we actually still have plenty of time, believe it or not. Let's see what you have to say. Apparently Mark doesn't think too highly of this particular student. Uses of buildings. There are gangsters here? In Lunarvale? Seems like there's a lot going on here in Lunarvale. And Yukino is embarrassed by the fact that Mark is acting the way he is. And another reminder that we still have to get a medical condition. And there are more stairs. Let's go into room 2A, which appears to be a fairly large room at that. This looks like the school cafeteria, or the or the place where, well, a cafeteria where people eat lunch. Whether lunch is served here is another matter altogether. Let's talk to you. Apparently this student had the weirdest dream about a little girl that was crying for help. Chunky is the school's wrestling champ. He's strong but gullible. His name in Megami Ibanroku persona is Kenta Yokouchi, nicknamed Toro, but in Revelations persona he's known as Chunky. But he's St. Hermalin's wrestling champ, apparently. At least I think in the Revelations version. Yeah, we had a dream about a little girl asking for help as well. It ended with 4 of us being struck by bolts of lightning and having to go to the hospital to get an examination. And apparently Toro is infatuated with Alana of all people. Which even Mark is surprised. But, no, Yukino, as I was gonna say, Yukino actually, doesn't like other people picking on Toro. Yes, Nate will be going sometime this century, or sometime this millennium, at some point. And anyway, we'll be heading off, well, we've got a lot of exploring to do before we get into the hospital. A lot more. And this appears to be either a science room or an economics room. 2 months since, Bruce disappeared, along with someone else, Selena. That's quite a long time for a disappearance. I'm surprised that that a missing persons report hasn't been filed. Now the 2 people they were actually referring to Bruce and Selena, which is a Batman reference, by the way, if you didn't already get the memo. Bruce is actually known as Yosuke Naito in Megami Ibanroku persona, and Selena's name is Chisato Kasai. I made sure to write them all down so I didn't forget. Let's go talk to them. These students, I mean, not Yosuke and Chisato. Or Selena and Bruce. Whatever. Selena and Mary were close friends, right? If you're going to visit her, then can you please ask her if she knows anything? Well, she's been in the hospital for about a year, so I doubt she'd know anything about a 6-month disappearance. 2 months or something. I don't get it. It seems that even Nate didn't have that high of an opinion of Selena. That's nothing to be proud of, Mark. Trust me. And apparently the girl who really liked Bruce was M. Could it be Selena's classmate and friend Mary? Actually, come to think of it, Mary actually seems fairly popular in St. Hermalin. Meanwhile, on to room 25. And there's a student lying down in the middle of the room, slumped down on his desk. The big building on the northeast part of town. It's quite a ways. Good to know. That's actually useful information. And the student is friends with Alana. They were going to hang out, but she's downstairs. Yeah, Alana does have one of those personalities, but then again, a lot has happened. And apparently, Yukino thinks that Alana's happy-go-free or happy-go-lucky exterior is just a means of getting through life. Very astute of you. And Mark's wondering why we're still here in the high school. And Nate doesn't give a damn, because of course he doesn't, because he's Nate Trinity. Room 26 is locked, and we cannot get inside. Now there is one final room on the second floor, which is this room. The sealed classroom that the teacher in the faculty office told us about. Is it still locked, or is there someone inside? Let's find out. Oh no, there is one person inside. All by himself. And apparently that's the Chris that we heard from that other student. And he has a cross-shaped scar on his head for some reason. Chris came to St. Hermalin 6 months ago. He's rather quiet and always acts alone. His name in Megami Iban Roku persona is Reiji Kido. And he has a very interesting theme. I like it. And he left without saying a word, because that's his style. Not much is known about Chris. But he moved into town right after Sabet moved in and set up shop. Why was he hanging out in a abandoned classroom? Then again, we're ones to talk. He's training up to become a hitman or something. Could he be following in the footsteps of a certain Agent 47, perhaps? Questions for later. Right now, it's time to move on to the third floor of St. Hermalin High. Hooray, and more jaunty music. Let's go into Class 3C and see what's inside. It appears to be an art room, judging by the statues, easels, and other setup. But apparently the art club doesn't have enough members. Mary has been absent due to her sickness, and Selena has been missing for quite a while. The art club is probably cursed. Let's say, well, we could lie and say that we know, but we don't know what happened to it. Well, we know what happened to, Well, actually, well, we know when we don't know, that's the thing. We know that Mary is currently in the hospital. As to exactly what's wrong with her, we don't exactly know. Again, case of Selena, we know that she's disappeared, but we don't know where she is or why she's gone in the first place. But apparently Mary's paintings are great. She's received many awards for them. Selena wasn't as talented an artist, but of course she was more popular among guys because of course she had that reputation. And apparently even Nate feels that there's something special about Mary's paintings. Even he felt that they could be classified as high quality art. Curious. Mary's painting is also called Gate to Paradise. Maybe she got information, of course she did, from the book, inspiration from the book, but her painting Gate to Paradise even won some art awards. That's good to know. So Mary is quite talented as an artist. Which is why we need to go to the hospital eventually, sometime this century. But yeah, all the stuff that you would never know if you didn't walk around the school talking about people. This room hasn't been used for a long time. What is it, the janitor's closet? Well, that would actually be a worry if the janitor's closet wasn't used. I mean, it's a storage closet to be sure. And this room appears to be the student council room. Love thy neighbor. Sage advice, or then again maybe not. Student body president. This job doesn't suit me. I admire Guido. He would have just turned this stupid job down without giving it a second thought. I would turn this job down too if I could be like him. The student body president isn't very enthusiastic. He doesn't care about anything whatsoever. Apparently Guido Sardinia was in fact the 18th student body president of the Kage-cho, and is now branch president, so he graduated from St. Hermalin. Again, very useful information, so that's why he's running the show here in Lunarvale. And Nate is not impressed by the student body president. No one is impressed by the student body president. Very soon. Who elected him anyway? Someone did. He's pretty much a brown-noser, which is why the teachers like him, and no one has lectured him since he became president, so he's a teacher's pet. So all he does is delegate and doesn't really do anything else. Normally I would say that that's the job of a administrator, but in this case I would have to make an exception. On to room 3A. And we only have a few more corridors left to go down. And you look like an interesting student, and it's a full moon. So this is actually very fitting. The 7 Wonders of St. Hermalin. But he won't tell us now, because of course he won't. Kane is a very strange person. He likes to study myths from different countries. His name in Megami Ibanroku persona is Tsutomu Kurori, but here he's known as Kane, obviously. There are other students we can talk to, such as you. We probably should be quiet in the library. And apparently Kane isn't very athletic, given the fact that he pretty much researches the occult and the arcane. And, well, at least the student feels sympathetic, although I don't think she does in the PSP version. I doubt that she's very sympathetic to him at all in that version. Well, he's an occultist. I don't think it's religion that he studies. Unfortunately, Kane may be a practitioner and a researcher of the occult and the unusual, but he actually does have a tendency to have, shall we say, very inaccurate information on said subjects. Demons, eh? And, Yukino is sympathetic towards, Kane. We are in a, library after all. We should, of course your library is probably, has more, intricate, reading materials. The books in your mansion's library are probably all, first editions, because you can afford to get them. That's more than any other school can say. I'm gonna find a corridor here on the first floor. And 2 more students. And apparently this student has a crush on Dr. Beverly. Yeah, remember about the fact that Beverly isn't actually known for being a decent cook? Yeah, that part is true, unfortunately. She's a school nurse who actually is very terrible at cooking. I mean, I'm not one to talk, but even I can make a decent meal when I need to. Yes, you can eat takeout or something, but you still have to purchase it. And apparently she broke up with someone. Why? Probably could do with the fact that she can't cook very well. Which normally would be an insult, and we'll just leave Mark alone with his philosophical meanderings, because why not? You have no interest in these matters, yet you refer to it as lucrative. That is kind of strange. So we've gossiped about Dr. Beverly. Now on to room 32. Another locked door. Moving on to the next one. Room 33. Let's see who's in here. Another person over here. Yeah, probably not good to walk by the city big building at night. Curses, you say? And the student is hungry. It's not even lunchtime yet. God, that's it's still early in the day. The secret path, eh? I'm sure we'll be looking into that. So basically everyone knows about the secret path because it's just basically a hole in the wall where people can leave, well, besides the normal school entrance, and yeah, all rumors flying around about Sebek. They believe in curses, yet you believe Sabet creates biological weapons. Yes, this is the last one. Door is locked and you can't get in. Did we, remember if we did actually, oh no, do we still have, did we talk to people in, this corridor? I'll just check if we did. Hold on, one moment. I've been talking to so many people that I've lost track of, everything that's been going on. If I can get around you. No, we haven't. There's still more people to talk to. A cool tree in the park behind the overpass. They look just like the one in the infirmary. Apparently, this student gets a strange feeling whenever he sees that tree. I believe he means strange. Northern Overpass. I think we actually saw that in the opening intro. Well, Dr. Beverly got that tree from somewhere, but there's apparently more than one here in Lunarvale. My footage seems to be lagging for some reason, which is very unfortunate. And this student wants to go home and sleep. But his classmate won't let him. And there's a subway station here in Mikage-cho, or Lunarvale. I'll still use the two interchangeably. Some more through the northern exit, turn right and keep walking straight. Yeah, because there's a Sun Mall here in Lunarvale as well, that we'll be seeing in due course. Oh, that lag is very unfortunate, and unfortunately. They say you can see your future if you play Persona, so that's why Brad was so interested in it. Unfortunately, I don't think that's what we saw, or maybe we did, we don't know, and I did not want to talk to you again. Let's see if I can fix this lag. One moment. No I can't, not really. And the student is upset that they're not, well, apparently they promised to visit the same college as each other. Will that student keep his promise, I wonder? Do you ever think about what you want to do after high school? Back then, it wasn't really, well, on my mind. But apparently Yukino wants to study photography. Juniors in high school, obviously. Nate actually can pretty much get into the college of his choice. We're stopping by too many places. Oh, we'll be stopping by more places when this day is through. And we're going even slower. Yeah, get back downstairs and get back to the first floor. And we shall stop outside of the infirmary here, and I will leave you here for the time being, adventurers, and when we return, we shall explore the last of St. Hermalin High, because there are still a few more areas we can actually go to in the school, and hopefully the lag will have disappeared for that point. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.